Today, I want to talk with you about pig farms. I attended a Northwestern College visitation day in January of 1992, and it didn't take me long to realize that this was where I wanted to spend the next 4 years of my life. My parents drove me to Northwest Iowa that following August. We were excited, we were a little sad, and we were eager. And as I got out of my dad's milky gray Buick LeSabre with a trailer in tow, I stretched and I took a deep breath in. Oh! When was the last time you said to yourself, "What smells?" Friends, it stunk to high heaven. Now, to be clear, I did not smell this putrid stank 8 months earlier when I had my college visitation day. Not just one pig farm, but 20 of them surrounded my small college. And if you need a sample, take Grafskop to Blue Star Highway, cross over that bridge, and you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. In concentrated form, that stench filled my nose, my throat, my lungs, my clothes, and I thought to myself, what the heck am I doing in Northwest Iowa? I did not want to be there. Now, in all transparency, my college roommate and lifelong friend grew up on a pig farm and married a pig farmer, so I love my pig farmers. Today, 30 years later, Northwest Iowa has grown from a rural part of the world that produced agricultural animals for food and byproducts into the Silicon Valley of biopharmaceutical technology. How did this happen? By reimagining the way we think about pigs. In learning how to better care for pigs, they learned how to better care for people as well. New discoveries emerged, like antibodies and enzymes, that led to even more new discoveries, like organs for transplant and cells to treat liver disease. By reimagining what we avoid, like the smell that assaults our senses, or the idea of becoming old, we can change the way we age. My name is Jill Ver Steeg, and I am the president and CEO of Evergreen Commons, an organization focused on disrupting the way people age. We don't like aging. We associate aging with this idea of decline. We have inherited language about aging that is in fact tired and worn out. And every time we use this language, we reinforce the idea that aging is about deterioration. Scott Galloway, professor and podcast host at NYU's Stern School of Business, uses the word FIPS, formerly important people, to describe aging. I'd like to suggest today a hermeneutical shift from aging as the end of things to instead a season of human optimization. Sociologists call this shift in thinking revalorization. Revalorization is when a practice, a tradition, or an object once formerly disregarded or devalued, now being given new value. And in our case for today, I want us to imagine a revalorization of aging. as a journey, not only of living longer, but living better for longer. So let me offer you today 3 drivers of the revalorization of aging. Here's the first: a growth mindset over a fixed mindset. Cognitive psychologist Carol Dweck describes growth-minded people as those who believe they can develop their intelligence, versus fixed-minded people who believe their intelligence is static. And it all starts with your inner voice. Which one are you? I'm not good at that. I'm going to stop trying. Or, you know what? I haven't mastered this yet. I'm going to try a new approach. There is agency in a growth mindset. There is a gritty resilience and a cultivated curiosity to growth mindset people. To borrow from Chip Conley, who is the founder of the Modern Elder Academy, growth mindset people are menturns. They're both mentors and interns. Even more, a growth mindset is beneficial to your brain. It's called neuroplasticity, which means that we can actually rewire our brain by creating new neural pathways. So the sooner we start changing our thinking about aging, we individually grow that mindset. And the more we do this as a community of growth mindset people, then the more we become biased in a really good way toward this thinking about aging. It all starts with the language that we use about aging. Try this language on. I am an explorer. I am a builder. I am the father of my community. I am the mother to my neighborhood. What does new language do to your imagination? A growth mindset reframes our expectations. As your gray hair comes in, my expectations of you increase, not decrease. I'm not going to protect you from your aging because I'm not afraid of it. I value it. The second driver for the revalorization of aging is belonging. In his book, Bowling Alone, Harvard public policy researcher Robert Putnam documented the decline of the American community. And now, 25 years later, after that book was written, the U.S. Resources and Service Administration has declared a loneliness epidemic, citing the increased phenomenon of fewer friendships and strained relationships. Even more, the U.S. Labor and Statistics Bureau has noted that as people age, they spend more and more time alone. Loneliness has been shown to increase the risk of cardiovascular disease, dementia, depression, and even an increase in mortality. In 1938, researchers from the Harvard Medical School decided to study a bunch of students throughout their entire adult lives, questioning them about their lifestyles, their habits, their happiness, their families, and putting these students into 2 categories: the happy well and the sad sick. What led to being into these 2 categories? Of the controllable factors, diet, smoking, exercise, there was one trait of the happy well that ranked far higher above all the others. The trait that ranked first of the happy well group was healthy relationships. We are made to be in community with one another. We have what sociologists call a need to belong. In Okinawa, Japan, families put children in lifelong friendship circles called moasis. These are built-in support systems that last through all of adult life. Today, in Okinawa, there's a group of women that gather every night to drink sake and to socialize. What about your moasis? Who are the people in your world who know you from the inside out with all tenderness and generosity? It is true that not only do we get by with a little help from our friends, thank you, Paul McCartney and John Lennon, but we actually increase our life and our health span, research says, by up to 8 years by cultivating healthy relationships. The third driver for the revalorization of aging is purpose. Eric Kim, a scientist at the T.H. Chan Harvard School of Public Policy, discovered that older adults who lived with the highest intentional purpose decreased their mortality by 46%. Those who live with intentional purpose have a decrease of cardiovascular disease, sleep problems, dementia, and depression. Purpose matters. It's your why. It's your conscious way of being. Even more, purpose is linked to cognitive resilience. In tests of verbal memory and fluency and executive function, older adults who had lived out of a sense of purpose scored higher. Even more, adults who have a sense of purpose in their life age slower biologically. Why? These are the people who make intentional lifestyle choices that affect their diet, their sleep, their exercise, therefore decreasing chronic stress and inflammation, both of which accelerate aging. Purpose. The National Institute of Health recently found that older adults between the ages of 65 and 92, when they lived out of their sense of purpose, they lived 7 years longer. So why does the revalorization of aging matter? Why spend time talking about adding value to aging? Ottawa County is the fastest growing county in Michigan. Har Yi Khan's mentor, the late Bill Johnson, Holland resident and landscape architect, once said, "People define place, and place define people." This is a community, a coalition of leaders developing people and expanding talent attraction. And this is a group of people galvanized around strengthening place, an innovative hub, and a legendary manufacturing base that businesses and families choose this vibrant community. In the last decade, the age group of 65 and older was the fastest growing age group in Ottawa County, growing by 61%. And that trend will only continue through 2030 and beyond. Moreover, people are living longer. In the last century, life expectancy was 55 years of age. Today, it's 79 years. Friends, in 1 century, we've added 24 years of life. Do the math, and welcome to time affluence. In the next 20 years worldwide, those 65 and older will have 50 trillion hours to fill. Now, imagine with me a reframe of Scott Galloway's FIPS, formerly important people. This community is filled with experienced and trailblazing older adults whose channeled purpose can be the fuel behind business leaders, nonprofit work, education, and startups, strategizing and solving problems, mentoring and lifting, taking this community to a new level in ways that we never could have imagined. And turning the FIPS from formerly important people to forever important people. In Northwest Iowa, they redefined pig farms. In Holland, Michigan, we can redefine aging with a growth mindset, cultivating belonging, and living out of our intentional purpose. So let's together make Holland a revalorization of aging zone. Thank you.